We need to talk about Kevin, 2011 film by Lynn Ramsey, starring Tilda Swinton, John C. Reilly, and Ezra Miller. Let me begin by saying this. It's an uncomfortable, unpleasant film to watch, in a good way. It's terrific in the way that it's done, but I think it works best if you go into it completely blind, like I have, not knowing a single thing about it. That's why I would encourage you to just turn off this video and watch it right now. But nonetheless, if you want to know more before deciding whether to see it or not, or you have seen it and are interested in my more in-depth opinion of it and what I liked about it, then feel free to keep watching. There won't be any hard spoilers anyway. So the film tells a story of Eva, played by Tilda Swinton, who used to be a traveler, an explorer, and a book writer. And then she settled down, married John C. Reilly's character, and then she has a kid, the titular Kevin. When he is still a little baby, Eva is kind of tired about being a mother and not really convinced and full of love. She has her doubts about this lack of maternal love that she feels. And then, as the kid starts growing up, it becomes apparent that something is not quite right with him, increasingly so. We see those events unfolding as a sort of extended flashback intertwined with the current day story of Eva, who for some reason now seems to be living alone, haunted by something that has clearly happened in the past, something that was very clearly some kind of a traumatic event. So we spent the whole movie coming closer and closer to unraveling this mystery of what exactly happened to her from both sides simultaneously. On the one hand, watching the linear narrative of her family life and her difficult relationship with the increasingly more manipulative and sociopathic Kevin. On the other hand, the future her, or the present her, dealing with the trauma caused by whatever happened. I'm usually not a massive fan of this kind of narrative of skipping back and forth between the timelines, but I thought it worked really well here, mainly because it's pretty much always clear where, or actually when, we are. That's in part due to costumes and hairstyles and the sets, but in large part thanks to Tilda Swinton. She is one of my favorite actresses, and as usual, she's excellent here at playing this unnerved, confused, occasionally terrified mother. The movie uses a lot of close ups, and Swindon's excellent use of facial expressions basically makes the audience go through the same emotions that she is experiencing. And I certainly did. I can't remember the last time I felt so uncomfortable watching a film. Midsommar comes to mind, but this is a different kind of unsettling. I think this one was worse or better. If I had to compare it to something, I'd rather say Hereditary or Requiem for a Dream. The entire runtime, right from the get go, there's this underlying sense of a catastrophe approaching, of this unknown terror looming right around the corner. And it works despite, or actually because of the fact that up until the very, very end, we don't know the specifics. That puts your imagination at work, and you can't help but go through all those terrible imaginary scenarios in your head, wondering when and how is it all going to go all wrong. This emotional weight is further enhanced by the technical aspects of the film. I'm mostly talking about the use of color here, particularly the color red, prevalent in many, many shots throughout the film, very deliberately used to invoke association with blood. And the second thing was the editing. The movie uses really clever transitions and cuts between the scenes and the shots, particularly when we're jumping between the timelines. Now, all of this together creates this dense, thick atmosphere of uncertainty, and I know I'm repeating myself here, but discomfort. I think it's a really interesting look into how difficult it may be to try and understand someone or something that cannot be understood, something that doesn't have a rational explanation, and of course, dealing with the guilt that comes with that lack of understanding and the fallout of all of it. I loved this film, but I have to mention that it's similar for me to Requiem for a Dream and Grave of the Fireflies, in that it's a terrific movie that I never want to see again.